Everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Spellbinders and their card kit of the month for July, and this is called Under the Sea Magic. So let's start out by going over all of the products that you'll be getting in your kit when you receive it. You always get the card that tells you what's inside and gets some inspiration. Your card stock in very bright, but yet you can see it's got a certain theme to that. Your 10 cards and your 10 envelopes, and your cards are A2 size, so that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then your 6 by 6 paper pad. These are absolutely gorgeous papers. So for those of you that are subscribers to my channel, or maybe you've just browsed through, you know I have a Simplicity series where I just look at pattern paper. I believe pattern paper can do all the work for you so that you can create beautiful cards. This pad definitely falls into that. The papers are beautiful, so you will see a lot of the cards focusing on that paper. Comes with your double-sided tape, double-sided foam squares, some great gems with some gold flecks, some gold puffy letters, chipboard stickers, and of course you all know my favorite part, the die cuts that are in this kit. You do have a great stamp set, as always, with some different style fonts and sentiments, and then you have the die set where you can create your own mermaid. Now, I'm just going to say this up front, I did not use the die in this video. I know some people get very upset and annoyed when I do that, but again, this kit always inspires me to collage, to work with those papers. There are other creators out there in the sphere that do use other elements. Again, that's the beauty of this craft. We are all inspired differently by what we see. For me, it's all about collaging. It's about the papers. That's what I seem to gravitate to. So this is just one way to see how you can create your cards using this kit. You can see I grabbed some solid cardstock, created a mat. I've got my pattern paper. Again, I kept these beautiful mermaid images and unicorns that are sitting on these papers, and I don't gravitate to that. I do not gravitate to the mermaids and the unicorns unless they are, I guess I want to call it mystical looking. So it's horrible to say, you know, not the cutesy, although I think they are cute, but that magical and mystical, and some people will say eerie. I don't know. But that's what these papers remind me of. So again, just adding these sentiments from the die cutting pack, or using the sentiments from the stamp set to add to these papers, even using your own pattern papers to border behind these pages are just perfect. I mean, this image of this beautiful princess, or sea princess, is just, it's just gorgeous. So that's what I focused in on here. I love using their double-sided tape. Again, when it comes to kits, I like to show what you can do with the kit and just simply add inks. Not so many other products in that kit, but just focus on the contents to see that you don't need to have all of the other items. You can just get the kit to create your cards. I do use the double-sided tape for the backing of my pattern paper so that I can put that onto my card base. But I do also pull in my liquid adhesive as well for the finer things that I'm putting on there. Again, taking these papers, layering them, and adding a sentiment from either the die cut pack or using the stamp set. Also enjoying those jewels as well. I love the fact that they come in different size. They call them gemstones. Just to give that variation as you're adding that dimensional part to the project. Again, when I do add my double-sided tape, I'm putting it down on each side. I'm using my tool-in-one to lift up that release paper because I struggle with that. It is amazing on how I struggle with it. It's comical. It's just comical. I'm going to use some of the double-sided foam squares. Now, please know, if I have extras from a previous kit, I'm using those first because I do keep those. I keep the double-sided tape. I mean, I that's stuff we use. So absolutely, I do keep all of those fun items. Again, just really focusing in onto the pattern paper. Only use the solid cardstock every once in a while as I'm paging through, you know, my cards. Looking, okay, did I just use pattern paper or did I use solid cardstock? I love the solid cardstock because that pulls in the mats. And again, there was so much variation when it comes to these pattern papers. You didn't have to worry about, you know, sometimes losing your designs in between because the backgrounds were so vastly different. When they were close, that's when I did put a piece of solid cardstock behind, or if I did some collaging on the pieces, then I did use a mat as well in some case with the solid cardstock. Again, just to separate these items to help with the texture and the layers to be individual, to draw the eye in to say, okay, these are the details that were added, and then the eye can go around to look at the other elements, whether it's the paper or the design in the background. If you heard that slurp, I am so sorry. I had to take a drink. It's allergy season, and boy, is it's an awesome allergy season this year. So again, during these months, I sound stuffy, I sound horrible, and my voice drops, I think, like 10 octaves. So I keep something liquid near me when I do these. So I do apologize if you heard that. So again, mixing up those pattern papers, digging into, you can see I am digging into those die cuts now. When it comes to these die cuts, there's always florals, there's always leaves, there's always, you know, the foliage and all of those. And those I gravitate to as well to have fun. So I grabbed one of those clusters, put that down into the corner. Again, letting that pattern paper shine, and then just simply adding a ticket to come off of that, which becomes the sentiment. When it comes to some of the pattern papers, wanting to use a strip, there's beautiful magical unicorns there in the back. So wanting that to come through, just use a strip of another piece of paper that it had a pattern, but it was very faint. You really had to look at that piece of pattern paper to see that design. So with that there, I'm able then to put our sentiment and our other die cut elements along that strip, whether it's directly on or whether it's going to come off to the side. Again, it's connected to that sentiment, so the eye will be drawn up. You can see I do work in threes. So 3 die cuts to create that triangle look. It's something that I find appealing. Not everybody does, and that's fine. Again, remember guys, that's the beauty of this. What I may like and what I may see is going to be completely different than what you like or what you are going to see. And I think that is a great thing. So many different interpretations can occur from one item. Whether it's something that we're reading or something that we're using, it happens every day. I am not one to say that interpretation is wrong, that interpretation is right. Again, we each have our likes, our dislikes, what we like to do in our paper crafting world, and what we don't like to do, what we don't feel comfortable doing. So we will always go to our strengths. Again, that's the beauty of it all. That's what I find wonderful. Okay, back to the card. So you can see I'm taking some of these elements. Now, this is really busy pattern paper going on here. I mean, beautiful watercolor splashes, florals. But because I'm using such large die cuts in that center, it's helping to push those flowers back and to cover them up so that it's just looking like another splash. Didn't use any solid cardstock. Where I did use the solid cardstock is for the sentiment die cut that I used. And I just trimmed around it just to help bring that up off of the page. This piece here, you'll see that I did pull in some solid cardstock that matched the pattern paper that I'm putting down onto this piece of wood. Lots of colors were going on. Now remember, when it comes to a paper pad, you may say, oh my God, these two colors just don't go together. They are made to go together. You don't have to think, is this going to match this? Yes, the background is teal and brown. The florals that I'm putting on there are bright pink and purple, but they are made to go together. So by putting that solid cardstock mat, it broke it up. It created that level, created that texture to go down. I'm going to add some die cut pieces to the top. So we're going to have a little bit of collaging. And again, I'm going to collage right onto the pattern paper. Again, by doing that and having all of these colors come down, it does pull back that brightness, that vibrancy. Because again, your eye's going to focus in on these pages. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the 10 cards that we created featuring the Spellbinders Card Kit of the month called Under the Sea Magic for July. It is a beautiful kit, beautiful images. Again, I call them majestic when it comes to those pattern papers and even, you know, the stickers, the chipboard stickers and the die cut pieces. As always, I will have the link down to this kit if you are interested, and also all of the other club kits along with their Spellbinders blog and the shop. I encourage you to go to their blog to get so much more inspiration from all of the other designers as well. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below, and I will make sure that I get back to you as soon as I can. I'd love for you to subscribe and make sure you ring the bell so that you know when the next video is live and ready for you to view. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and stick around and watch this video. Enjoy your process, enjoy the time into your space, but always remember what's most important. Always be creative.